wake to the soft rustle of reeds around your canoe. The gentle lapping of water against the wooden hull creates a rhythm as old as time itself. Your canoe drifts slowly through the floating gardens of Xochimilco. The Chinampas stretch endlessly before you. These artificial islands built by your ancestors hundreds of years ago, from mud and reeds and willow branches. The morning mist rises from Lake Texcoco, soft and silver, like the breath of Chalchutliqui, the goddess of rivers and streams. You breathe deeply, inhaling the sweet scent of morning glories, their purple trumpets opening to greet Tonatiuh, the sun god, as he begins his daily journey across the sky. Your paddle moves through the water, slowly, deliberately, creating gentle ripples that catch the early light. The water here is shallow, only 3 feet deep in most places. Perfect for the floating gardens that feed your great city of Tenochtitlan. Around you, the Chinampas bloom with life. Maize stalks grow tall and straight, their broad leaves rustling softly in the morning breeze. Tomatoes hang heavy on their vines, red as the feathers of the quetzal bird. Beans climb wooden poles, their heart-shaped leaves creating patterns of light and shadow. You pass a farmer tending his crops. He wears a simple maxlatl, a cotton loincloth dyed with cochineal, a deep red colour that comes from tiny insects that live on prickly pear cacti. He waves slowly, peacefully, his movements unhurried in the cool morning air. The water beneath your canoe is clear, so clear you can see the bottom, covered with soft mud and the roots of water plants. Tiny fish dart between the stems of cattails, their silver bodies flashing like captured sunlight. Water beetles skim the surface, creating tiny circles that expand and disappear. You hear the distant sound of conch shells being blown from the great temple in the heart of Tenochtitlan. The deep, resonant notes carry across the water, calling the people to morning prayers. But here, in your canoe, surrounded by the floating gardens, the sound is soft, muffled by distance and morning mist. A great blue heron stands motionless in the shallows, its neck curved like a question mark, waiting for fish to swim within reach. Its feathers are the colour of storm clouds, grey-blue and elegant. You watch as it takes one careful step, then another, barely disturbing the water's surface. The sun climbs higher, and you can feel its warmth beginning to touch your shoulders. Your huipil, the loose cotton dress you wear, is dyed with indigo, the deep blue that comes from plants your people have cultivated for generations. The fabric is soft against your skin. Sky. You drift past a grove of willow trees, their long branches trailing in the water like green hair. Beneath their shade, the air is cool and sweet. You can hear the soft buzzing of bees gathering nectar from the small flowers of the ahuejotes, the willow trees that help hold the Chinampas together with their roots. Your canoe moves like a prayer, slowly, reverently, through these sacred waters. The Aztecs believe that water is life, that Tlaloc, the rain god, sends his gift from the mountains to nourish the earth. Here, In the floating gardens, you can feel that sacred connection, the endless cycle of water and earth and growing things. A family of ducks swims alongside your canoe, the mother leading her ducklings in a perfect line. Their soft quacking creates a gentle conversation, a language of contentment and peace. The ducklings paddle furiously to keep up, their tiny feet working beneath the surface like little water. Wheels. As the morning progresses, you notice the subtle changes in the light. The harsh brightness of dawn softens into the gentle glow of mid-morning. Shadows shift and dance as clouds drift across the sun. The water changes color too, from silver to gold to the deep blue-green of jade, the precious stone your people treasure above all others. You pass beneath a bridge made of woven reeds, strong enough to support the weight of farmers carrying their harvest to market. The shadow falls across your face for a moment, cool and welcome. Then you emerge again into the dappled sunlight. The sound of water against your canoe creates a lullaby, gentle and constant. Your eyelids begin to feel heavy as the peaceful rhythm of the floating gardens works its ancient magic. The morning sun warms your face. The gentle breeze carries the scent of flowers and growing things, and the soft sounds of water and birds create a symphony of serenity. Your paddle trails in the water now, no longer needed to guide your path. The current, gentle and steady, carries you forward through this floating paradise. Your breath slows, matching the rhythm of the lapping waves, and your shoulders relax as the tension of the world melts away. The floating gardens stretch endlessly around you, a testament to the ingenuity and wisdom of your ancestors. These chinampas can produce 7 crops a year, feeding the great city of Tenochtitlan with its canals and causeways and towering pyramids. But here, now, in your drifting canoe, they are simply beautiful, peaceful, a living prayer of gratitude to the earth and water and sky. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the morning breeze hums softly through the water lilies. You drift into a deep, restful sleep. Chapter 2. Herbs. You wake in a different place, still floating gently, but now your canoe has drifted into a quieter channel, lined with gardens dedicated to healing plants. The water here moves even more slowly, creating barely a whisper against the sides of your vessel. This is the sacred garden of Tlazoltots, the goddess of purification and healing, where the curanderos, the healing priests, grow their medicinal plants. The air itself seems different here, charged with ancient wisdom, heavy with the scent of herbs and flowers that have healed your people for countless generations. Your canoe glides past raised beds where copal trees grow, their resinous bark gleaming in the filtered sunlight. Awaits. On a nearby chinampa, you see rows of chocolate trees, Theobroma cacao, growing in the dappled shade of larger trees. Their pods hang like colourful lanterns, green and yellow and deep red-brown. The cacao beans inside will be ground into the sacred drink of the nobles, mixed with vanilla and honey, flavoured with chili peppers for warmth and spice. An elderly curandera tends the medicinal gardens, her grey hair braided with feathers from the sacred Quetzal bird. She wears a huipil, decorated with symbols of healing. Spirals and serpents and flowers that represent the cycle of life and death and renewal. Her movements are slow and deliberate, each gesture a prayer, each step a meditation. She harvests leaves from the toloech plant, its trumpet-shaped flowers pale yellow in the morning light. This sacred plant, used carefully and respectfully, can bring visions and healing dreams. Inflammation, ground into powders and mixed with other herbs in combinations passed down through generations. Your canoe drifts past beds of passion vine, its purple flowers opening to release their sweet fragrance. The leaves and flowers of this plant, when brewed into tea, bring calm to troubled minds and peaceful sleep to restless bodies. You breathe deeply, letting the natural aromatherapy of the healing garden work its gentle magic. Here grows the hierba buena, the good herb, its bright green leaves releasing a cooling menthol scent when touched by the morning breeze. This mint, wild and abundant, soothes stomachs and clears congested breathing. Children chew its leaves when they have colds, and mothers brew it into teas for their families. The water channel curves gently, and you find yourself floating past groves of avocado trees, their broad leaves creating deep shade. The awakatl, as your people call them, bear fruit rich in oils that themselves, when dried and powdered, become medicine for wounds and infections. A great white egret stands in the shallows, perfectly still, its reflection creating a double image in the mirror-smooth water. Its presence feels like a blessing, a sign that you have entered truly sacred space. The egret is associated with Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, bringer of wisdom and knowledge. Your paddle moves through the water with barely a sound, respecting the quiet sanctity of this healing place. The current here is so gentle, it feels like floating through liquid jade, the precious green stone that represents life and growth in Aztec belief. Along the banks, you see the bright orange flowers of cempasúchil, marigolds that guide spirits home during the Festival of the Dead. But here, in the healing gardens, they serve a different purpose. Their petals, when dried and ground, become medicine for digestive anxious. The curandera looks up from her work and nods slowly, acknowledging your presence with the wisdom of someone who understands that healing comes not just from plants, but from peace, from connection with the natural world, from the simple act of floating quietly through sacred waters. You pass beneath hanging gardens, where morning glory vines cascade from wooden trellises, their heart-shaped leaves creating curtains of living green. The seeds of these plants, when properly prepared, can bring prophetic dreams and visions of healing. But now, in the gentle morning light, they simply offer beauty and the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze. The water here is so clear, you can see every stone on the bottom, every root of the water plants that help filter and purify the lake. Schools of small silver fish move like liquid mercury through the underwater gardens, their movements creating subtle currents that massage the hull of your canoe. Near a grove of pepper trees, their feathery leaves whispering secrets to the wind. You see beds of chili plants growing in neat rows. These peppers, from the tiny chiltepin to the large poblano, are more than food to your people. They are medicine, warming the body, clearing congestion, fighting infection with their natural fire. A butterfly lands on the edge of your canoe, its wings painted in brilliant orange and black, the colours of the sunset and the earth. It rests there for a long moment, opening and closing its wings slowly, like a tiny meditation teacher showing you the rhythm of breath, the pulse of life itself. The healing garden extends as far as you can see, a living pharmacy created by generations of careful cultivation and sacred knowledge. Here grow the plants that heal bodies, minds, and spirits. Sage for purification, lavender for calm, willow bark for pain, verbena for protection. Each plant a gift from the earth, each gratitude. Your canoe drifts deeper into this sanctuary of healing, where the only sounds are the gentle lap of water, the soft buzz of beneficial insects, and the whisper of wind through medicine leaves. The scents blend and mingle, creating a natural aromatherapy that penetrates deep into your cells, bringing healing to places you didn't even know needed tending. The sun, now higher in the sky, filters through the canopy of healing trees, creating patches of golden light. Twilight, you wake as the sun begins its descent toward the western mountains, painting the sky in shades of coral and gold. Your canoe has drifted into a sacred lake, perfectly circular, surrounded by stone temples that rise like prayers toward the darkening sky. This is Lake Aztec, the Mirror Lake, where priests come to perform the evening rituals of gratitude to Tonatiuh, the sun god, as he completes another day's journey across the heavens. The water here is still as polished obsidian, reflecting the carved facades of the temples in perfect detail. The great temple rises before you, its stepped pyramid reaching toward the first evening stars. Each level represents a different realm of existence, from the earthly world where humans dwell, to the highest heaven where the gods hold council. Torches begin to flicker to life along its edges, creating points of golden light that dance in the lakes. Reflection. Your canoe moves without effort now, carried by currents that seem guided by invisible hands. The water is warm, heated by the stone that surrounds the sacred lake, and small spirals of mist begin to rise as the air cools with approaching night. A priest in white cotton robes walks slowly along the temple's edge, carrying a clay brazier filled with glowing copal incense. The sweet smoke drifts across the water, reaching your canoe in gentle waves, filling your lungs with the sacred breath of the gods. This copal, harvested from trees in the distant mountains, has burned in Aztec temples for over 1,000 years. You float past smaller shrines dedicated to Chalchutliqui, she of the jade skirt, goddess of rivers and lakes and all flowing water. Fresh flowers have been left at her feet, marigolds and morning glories, their colours vivid against the grey stone. Clay vessels hold offerings of pure spring water, chocolate, and precious jade beads that catch sunlight. The evening air carries the sound of shell trumpets being blown from the temple's highest platform. The deep, haunting notes echo across the water, calling to Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, lord of the evening star that now appears low on the horizon. The sound vibrates through your body, resonating in your chest, connecting you to the ancient rhythms of worship and wonder. Along the lake's edge, stone carvings emerge from the water like sleeping giants. These are the Atlantes, the water bearers, carved by master craftsmen generations ago. Their faces are serene. Their massive hands hold vessels that pour fresh water into the sacred lake. Fish swim in and out of their stone robes, and water plants grow from crevices in their carved features. Your canoe passes a floating altar, a small platform woven from reeds and decorated with feathers and flowers. Votive candles flicker in clay holders, their flames reflected in the still water like fallen stars. This altar honors Tlaloc, the rain god, thanking him for the gift of water that makes all life possible. The twilight deepens, and bats begin to emerge from caves in the temple walls. They swoop and dive over the water's surface, catching insects in elaborate aerial dances. Their presence is considered auspicious, for bats are messengers between the world of the living and the realm of spirits. A group of young priestesses approaches the water's edge, carrying reed baskets filled with white water lilies. They place the flowers gently on the lake's surface, one by one, creating a floating garden of pure white blooms that drift slowly across the dark water. Each lily represents a prayer, a wish for peace and wisdom and connection with the divine. The stone temples around you were built using a technique called talud tablero, sloping walls supporting vertical panels decorated with intricate carvings. In the fading light, these carvings seem to move and breathe, telling stories of creation and destruction, of gods who sacrificed themselves so that humans might live, of the eternal dance between light and darkness. Your canoe moves through a grove of cypress trees that grow directly from the lake bottom, their roots invisible beneath the dark water, their branches reaching toward the first stars. These trees are sacred to Mictlantecutli, Lord of the Dead, but here, in the peaceful twilight, they offer shelter and shade rather than fear. The water around their trunks is deeper, cooler, and you can feel the temperature change as your canoe glides between them. Fish jump occasionally, creating concentric circles that spread outward until they disappear. The sound of their splashing is gentle, musical, like drops of liquid silver falling into pools of starlight. Along the temple walls, you see the intricate stone mosaics that depict the Aztec calendar, the great wheel of time that governs all life and death and rebirth. Feathered serpents intertwine with jaguars and eagles, each symbol carved with mathematical precision, each design encoding knowledge that connects the earthly world with celestial. Mysteries. A night-blooming cereus opens its massive white flower near the water's edge, its petals unfurling like silk scarves in the cooling air. This flower, which blooms only one night each year, is considered a gift from Koyogsalki, the moon goddess, and its appearance brings great fortune to those who witness it. The evening star grows brighter, and you realize it is Venus, Quetzalcoatl in his celestial form, the bright herald of night's deepest mysteries. Priests believe this star guides the souls of the dead on their journey through the underworld. But tonight, it simply offers its gentle light to guide your floating meditation. Your canoe has become part of the sacred lake itself, moving with currents that follow patterns established long before human memory. The temples around you pulse with quiet energy, their stones still warm from the day's sun, their carved surfaces telling stories in shadow and starlight. The air grows cooler, and mist begins to rise more thickly from the water's surface. This mist, your people believe, carries prayers upward to the gods, lifting human hopes and dreams on invisible wings toward the realm of eternal spirits. Fireflies begin to dance over the water, their tiny lights blinking on and off in random patterns that somehow seem perfectly choreographed. These spirits of light, according to Aztec belief, are the souls of children who died young, returned to bring joy and wonder to the world of the living. Your breathing slows as the sacred lake works its ancient magic. The peace of 1,000 years of prayer and ritual settling into your bones like warm honey. The lapping of Chapter 4, the underground river. You wake in darkness, gentle darkness, flowing through an underground river that winds beneath the great city of Tenochtitlan. Your canoe moves silently through this hidden waterway, guided by currents that have flowed here since the world was ever young. This is the sacred cenote system, the underground rivers that the Aztecs believe connect all water in the world, from the deepest ocean caves to the highest mountain springs. The water here is crystal clear, filtered through limestone for thousands of years, pure as the tears of Chalchuplicue herself. Above you, the stone ceiling disappears into velvet darkness, but you can hear the distant sounds of the city, muffled and dreamlike, like memories of another world. Occasionally, shafts of moonlight penetrate through hidden openings, creating columns of silver light that illuminate the underground gardens growing along the river's banks. Your canoe glides past formations of flowstone, created drop by drop over millennia, smooth as silk and white as sea foam. These natural sculptures catch and reflect the moonbeams, creating a gallery of light and shadow that shifts and changes as you drift deeper into the earths. Embrace. The air here is cool and moist, carrying the mineral scent of deep water and ancient stone. Your breathing naturally slows, matching the rhythm of droplets, falling from stalactites high above, each drop creating tiny circles on the water's surface that expand and disappear like fleeting thoughts. Along the underground banks, phosphorescent moss glows with pale green light, providing just enough illumination to reveal the delicate ecosystem that thrives in these hidden depths. Blind fish swim in the deeper pools, their movements graceful and unhurried, adapted to a world without sun or seasons, living entirely by touch and vibration. Your paddle dips into the water without sound, the underground river so still that every movement creates ripples that travel for hundreds of feet, carrying your presence like whispered prayers through the darkness. The water temperature is constant here, neither warm nor cool, but perfectly matched to your body heat, as if the earth itself is embracing. You pass beneath natural bridges of flowstone, their surfaces polished smooth by countless years of underground floods and gentle currents. Water drips steadily from their edges, creating a percussion that echoes through the cavern like the heartbeat of the earth itself, a rhythm that has continued unbroken since the gods first shaped the world. In alcoves carved by water into the limestone walls, you glimpse small shrines left by previous visitors to this sacred space. Clay figurines of Tlaloc, the rain god, stand guardian over pools that never see sunlight but never cease flowing. Offerings of jade and obsidian rest on natural stone shelves, gifts to the spirits that dwell in these depths. The underground river branches and divides, creating multiple channels that flow around islands of stone, decorated with formations that look like frozen waterfalls. Like curtains of white silk turned to mineral by time and pressure. City. Here in a wider pool cave, pearls have formed. Tiny spheres of calcite that roll and tumble in underwater currents, creating a clicking sound like rain on leaves. The Aztecs believe these pearls are eggs of water spirits, and finding them is a sign of good fortune. You drift past underwater gardens where strange plants grow without sunlight, fed by minerals in underground streams. Their leaves are pale translucent, ghostly beautiful, reaching toward the darkness like fingers of living water. These plants exist nowhere else on Earth, evolved for life in sacred cenotes. A gentle current carries you into a vast chamber, its domed ceiling held by columns of flowstone, rising from the water like pillars of an aquatic cathedral. The acoustics are perfect, every drop, every whisper amplified until the whole space seems to sing with the voice of the earth itself. Moonlight streams through a natural opening high above, illuminating the chamber's center, where underground springs bubble up from unknown depths. The water here is so clear, you can see bottom stones that lie 50 feet below the surface, each pebble distinct and sharp, as if viewed through liquid crystal. Your canoe moves through pools of different temperatures, some cool from deep springs, others warm from geothermal sources far below. The mixing of these waters creates gentle currents that massage the hull of your vessel, rocking you with the same rhythm that has soothed countless generations of your ancestors. Along the chamber walls, you can see the high watermarks from ancient floods, when the underground river rose to fill these spaces completely. But those times are long past, and now the water flows at perfect levels, neither too high nor too low, maintained in eternal balance by forces beyond human understanding. The underground river continues its patient journey toward the lake, carrying your canoe deeper into the heart of the Earth's mystery. Here, time moves differently, measured not in hours or days, but in the slow accumulation of limestone, the gradual carving of passages, the eternal circulation of water through rock and air and living things. Bats roost in crevices high above, their soft chittering occasionally breaking the silence, but even their sounds are absorbed by the acoustic perfection of the underground cathedral, becoming part of the greater symphony of flowing water and dripping stone and whispered currents. You close your eyes and let the underground river carry you, trusting in currents that have flowed since the world was young, surrendering to the gentle embrace of earth and water and darkness. Your canoe has become part of the underground ecosystem, moving with the same patient grace as the blind fish, the same trust as the cave pearls rolling in their eternal dance. The sound of flowing water surrounds you completely now, not just the river beneath your canoe, but the distant whisper of 1,000 hidden streams, all connected, all part of the vast circulatory system that brings life to the desert above. You are floating through the very arteries of the earth, carried by blood older than civilization, more precious than gold. Your breathing matches the rhythm of drops falling from the ceiling, slow and steady and peaceful. The cool air fills your lungs with the essence of deep places, of water filtered through stone for millennia, of darkness that is not empty but full of possibilities, full of rest, full of dreams that grow like underground pearls in the darkness of perfect peace. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the underground river sings its ancient lullaby. You drift into a deep, restful sleep. Chapter 5. The Dawn Return. You wake as your canoe emerges from the underground passages, carried by gentle currents back toward the surface world. Above you, the sky is beginning to lighten with the pale grey of pre-dawn, and the first birds are starting their morning songs in the distance. Your vessel floats now in a lagoon, surrounded by ancient cypress trees, their massive trunks rising directly from the water like the pillars of a natural temple. These ahuejotes, some over 1,000 years old, have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the birth and death of countless generations. Yet they remain, patient and eternal, their roots drinking from the same sacred waters that have sustained your people since time began. The water here is perfectly still, mirror smooth, reflecting the slowly brightening sky in such perfect detail that you cannot tell where water ends and heaven begins. Your canoe seems to float suspended between two worlds, between the realm of dreams and the realm of waking, between the darkness of deep places and the coming light of a new day. A family of ducklings paddle busily to keep up, their tiny wakes spreading outward in perfect V-shapes that intersect and overlap in patterns of liquid geometry. The air carries the scent of morning, fresh and clean and full of possibilities. Somewhere in the distance, you can hear the sound of temple bells beginning their dawn prayers, calling the faithful to greet Tonatiuh, the sun god, as he prepares to climb the eastern sky and begin another day's journey across the heavens. Your canoe drifts past a small island where copal trees grow in a sacred grove. The resin of these trees, when burned, creates the sweet smoke that carries prayers upward to the gods. Even now, in the pre-dawn calm, you can smell the faint traces of last night's ceremonies, the lingering incense, that sanctifies this place and marks it as holy ground. A great blue heron stands motionless in the shallows, its reflection creating a perfect double image in the still water. The bird's patience is legendary among your people, teaching the virtue of stillness, of waiting for the right moment, of moving only when movement serves a purpose. You watch as it takes one careful step, then another, barely disturbing the water's surface. The eastern horizon begins to glow with the first hint of gold. And you know that soon Tanatia will emerge from his nightly journey through the underworld, victorious once again over the forces of darkness. This daily miracle, the return of light and warmth and life, never fails to inspire wonder and gratitude in the hearts of your people. Your paddle trails in the water now, no longer needed to guide your course. The current here is so gentle, it barely moves, allowing your canoe to drift like a floating meditation through this sacred space. Time seems suspended, stretched like honey in the golden light, each moment containing eternity. Water lilies begin to open their white petals to greet the coming sun, their faces turning eastward like faithful worshippers. These flowers, sacred to Chalchuitlicu, bloom only at dawn and dusk, marking the sacred transitions between day and night, between the visible world and the realm of dreams. A school of small silver fish breaks the surface near your canoe, their bodies flashing like liquid starlight in the growing dawn. They disappear as quickly as they appeared, leaving only expanding circles on the water to mark their passage, like thoughts rising to consciousness and then dissolving back into the deeper currents of mind. The cypress trees around you are draped with Spanish moss, their long grey strands swaying gently in the morning breeze like the hair of ancient spirits. This moss, which grows only in the purest air, is considered a sign of the gods' blessing, marking this place as especially sacred, especially peaceful. You pass beneath natural archways formed by intertwining branches, cathedral spaces where the light filters through leaves in patterns of gold and green. These living temples, shaped by wind and water and time, offer their own form of worship, their own prayers of gratitude for the gift of existence. The water temperature rises slightly as the dawn light begins to penetrate the surface, warming the upper layers while the depths remain cool and mysterious. This thermal layering creates gentle currents that rock your canoe like a mother's arms, soothing, comforting, perfectly calibrated to ease you into the waking world. Birds begin to sing in earnest now, their voices joining in a dawn chorus that has welcomed the sun for millions of years. Cardinals add their clear whistles. Mockingbirds contribute their elaborate variations, and doves provide the deep, soothing bass notes that seem to rise from the earth itself. Your breathing naturally synchronizes with the rhythm of the lapping water, slow and deep and peaceful. The oxygen here is especially pure, cleaned by the cypress trees and water plants, enriched by the natural processes that turn carbon dioxide into life-giving breath. Each inhalation fills your lungs with vitality. Each exhalation releases tension and worry. The first ray of direct sunlight breaks over the eastern horizon, painting a golden path across the water that leads directly to your canoe. This path of light, which your ancestors call the Bridge of Tonatiuh, connects the earthly world with the realm of the gods, offering a glimpse of the eternal light that shines beyond the veil of ordinary perception. Your canoe follows this golden path, moving slowly toward the shore where ancient stone steps descend into the water. These steps, worn smooth by countless feet over hundreds of years, lead upward to temples and gardens where the day's ceremonies will soon happen. Begin. But for now, in these precious moments before full dawn, you remain suspended between worlds, floating in perfect peace on waters that connect all times and places, past and future, dream and reality, earth and heaven. The golden light grows stronger, and you can see the intricate carvings on the temple walls beginning to emerge from shadow, telling their eternal stories of creation and renewal, of gods who dance between darkness and light, of humans who learn to find the sacred in the simple act of floating, breathing, being present to the miracle of existence. Your eyelids grow heavy one last time, not with sleep now, but with gratitude, with the deep satisfaction that comes from a journey completed, a circle closed, a dawn witnessed from the perfect vantage point of water and silence and inner peace. The sun rises fully now, painting the sky in shades of gold and coral and deepest blue. The water around your canoe sparkles with reflected light, each ripple a tiny mirror catching and releasing the glory of the new day. Birds call from every direction, welcoming the light, celebrating the eternal return of warmth and life and possibility. Your canoe touches the stone steps gently, completing your night journey through the sacred waters of memory and dream. But the peace you have found, the deep rest you have received, travels with you as you prepare to step back into the waking world, carrying the gift of stillness, the blessing of flowing water, the eternal lullaby of the earth itself. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the morning sun blesses your peaceful sleep. You drift into a deep, restful sleep, carried by the eternal rhythm of sacred waters, home